Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always excited to dive in.
This time, we're going to explore something pretty mind-blowing. Quantum leaps and quantum jumping.
Oh, yeah, where science and personal transformation kind of meet.
Exactly. We were talking about those moments where it feels like someone makes a massive change almost overnight. Like suddenly they're wildly successful or completely shed a limiting belief.
Yeah, it's a bit like that saying quantum leap, right? Like a sudden jump to a whole new level.
But the thing is, quantum leaps aren't just a saying. They're a real thing in quantum physics.
Right. It goes back to Niels Bohr and his model of the atom.
Okay, so remind me, how did Bohr's model change things?
Well, before Bohr, we kind of thought electrons moved smoothly between energy levels in an atom. But Bohr showed that no, they actually make these sudden jumps, quantum leaps, instantaneous changes that defied the old physics.
So instead of slowly climbing a ladder, it's like teleporting between the rungs.
Yeah, a perfect way to put it. And it got people thinking, could this idea of sudden change apply to us too? Could we have quantum leaps in our personal growth?
Right, so how does this quantum leap idea work when we're talking about personal transformation?
Well, think about it. We often get stuck in these patterns in our thinking, our beliefs, our actions. But then sometimes, boom, someone breaks free.
Like they've shattered their limitations and suddenly operate on a whole new level.
Exactly. And some believe this mirrors what happens with electrons. Bohr showed that electrons exist in specific energy states. They can't be in between.
So with the personal growth, it's like we're shifting to a higher energy state too.
Yeah.
Breaking free from an old pattern and jumping to a new one where there are more possibilities.
Yeah, it's like we're shedding the old limited version of ourselves and stepping into a reality where we're operating at a higher frequency, so to speak.
I love that. So are there any other mind-bending quantum physics ideas that relate to this?
Well, there's the idea of wave-particle duality. Just like light can act as both a wave and a particle, we also have the potential to be shaped by both our tangible actions and our intangible thoughts.
So we're both the architects and the building material of our own reality.
I like that. And then there's the observer effect, where in quantum physics, just observing something can change it. Some believe that similarly, when we focus our awareness and intentions on something, we might be influencing reality itself.
Okay, so we've got quantum leaps in physics and in personal growth. But what about quantum jumping? Is that the same thing or is there a difference?
That's a great question. Quantum jumping is related, but takes things in a more metaphysical direction. It's based on the idea of the multiverse, countless parallel universes, each with a different possibility.
Okay, so multiple versions of ourselves in different universes. This is getting deep.
It is. And Burt Goldman, who popularized quantum jumping, suggests that we can actually connect with these other versions of ourselves, versions who have already achieved what we desire.
So there's a version of me out there who's already achieved all my dreams, and I can tap into that.
That's the idea. It's about intentionally connecting with that alternate self who has already achieved your goals, accessing their energy, their mindset, and bringing it back to your current reality.
This is incredible. But how do we actually do this jumping? Just wish really, really hard.
Not quite. Quantum jumping involves techniques like deep meditation and really focused visualization to shift your awareness. It's about aligning your energy with that version of you who already embodies your goals.
So we're not physically traveling to another universe, but mentally tuning into it, like interdimensional channel surfing. But hold on, we've got quantum leaps and quantum jumping. Are those just different words for the same thing, or are there key differences?
They definitely both aim for dramatic transformation and take inspiration from quantum physics, but yeah, there are some pretty crucial differences.
All right, let's break it down. First up, where does the change come from? How is a quantum leap different from a quantum jump in that way?
With a quantum leap, you're focused on changing your energy and mindset within this reality. It's like upgrading your internal software to create a new reality around you. But with quantum jumping, you're connecting with a reality where that change has already happened.
So one is about internal transformation, the other about connecting with an external possibility.
Exactly. And that difference ties into their how grounded they are in science. The quantum leap metaphor is connected to the real phenomenon of quantum jumps in physics. But quantum jumping, while inspired by the multiverse theory, leans more on a more metaphysical interpretation.
So quantum leaps are energy shifts within our reality, while quantum jumps venture into alternate realities.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And this difference also changes the techniques used. With quantum leaps, it's often about mindset shifts, affirmations, visualization, and acting as if you've already made the change. You're retraining your brain. But quantum jumping uses more specific practices, like deep meditation and visualizing yourself merging with that other self.
Fascinating. Both concepts really challenge our understanding of reality. But is any of this, especially quantum jumping, supported by science?
Well, that's the big question. The scientific community doesn't officially endorse quantum jumping. It's very much a metaphysical concept. But there is some intriguing research that might back up certain aspects of these practices.
Well, really? Like what?
Well, take neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to rewire itself. It shows that our brains are constantly changing based on our thoughts and experiences. So when we visualize, use affirmations, and act as if, we might be reshaping our brains to align with our desires.
So we're changing our inner reality to match our goals.
Exactly. And then there's the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's like a filter in our brains that decides what we notice.
So by setting clear intentions and focusing on goals, our RAS starts filtering for info and opportunities related to those goals.
Yeah, like programming our brains to see what can help us achieve our dreams.
Wow, this is blowing my mind. And then we've got this research from the HeartMath Institute on heart coherence.
Right. Their studies show that when our thoughts and emotions are in sync, especially when we feel things like gratitude, it creates a state of coherence between our heart and brain. And this seems to boost our intuition and lead to choices that match our true desires.
So it's not just about positive thoughts, but also about feeling positive emotions.
Exactly. It's about aligning everything, thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Okay, so there is some scientific evidence that our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings can shape our reality. But let's be honest, a lot of people are skeptical about quantum jumping. How do we acknowledge those challenges?
We have to be upfront that quantum jumping pushes the limits of science. We don't have concrete proof that we can literally jump between universes. It takes, well, a leap of faith. And while quantum mechanics is fascinating, applying it to personal growth is still very speculative.
So we're in uncharted territory, blending science with metaphysics. But even if we can't fully prove it, there's something powerful about the idea that we might have access to infinite possibilities.
Absolutely. Whether we look at it scientifically or metaphysically, the core message is the same. We have incredible power to shape our reality. And by using our minds, beliefs, and emotions, we can create massive change in our lives.
I love that. Quantum leaps or quantum jumps, it all points to our amazing potential for transformation.
And that's what's so captivating. It makes us explore the limits of what's possible and step into a reality aligned with our highest aspirations.
This is so exciting. But before we go too deep down the quantum rabbit hole, let's see how these concepts play out in real life.
Yeah, let's explore some real stories and see how people have used these ideas to create lasting change.
I can't wait. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. I hope you all had a moment to imagine those incredible possibilities.
I know I did. So how do we make those quantum leaps and jumps happen? What are some actual techniques we can use?
Well, a great place to start for both leaps and jumps is visualization.
Visualization, huh? The power of imagination. Does just picturing something really have that much power to change things?
It might seem simple, but visualization is super powerful for aligning your thoughts and feelings with what you want to achieve. When you vividly imagine yourself living your dream life, really feeling the emotions, experiencing it with all your senses, you're sending a strong message to your subconscious.
So it's not just seeing a picture in your head, it's about fully experiencing it. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you want to write a best-selling novel. Instead of just wishing for it, visualize yourself actually writing. Imagine you're at your desk, words flowing easily, feeling that joy of finishing each chapter. Picture holding your published book, seeing your name on the cover, feeling that weight of success.
Okay, I can picture it. But how does just imagining this make it real?
Remember neuroplasticity. By repeatedly visualizing, you strengthen those neural pathways in your brain related to that experience. You're basically creating a mental blueprint for your subconscious to follow.
So the more vivid the visualization, the stronger that blueprint becomes.
Yeah, exactly. The more emotion you add, the more powerful it is.
So we're training our brains to believe it's possible. What about affirmations? How do those fit in?
Affirmations are a great way to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. They're positive statements that you repeat, kind of like rewiring your thoughts.
So instead of saying, I'm not good enough, I'd say, I am capable of achieving my dreams, something like that.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Your subconscious is like fertile ground. Whatever you plant there, positive or negative, will grow. Affirmations are like planting those positive seeds.
We're weeding out the negativity and planting a garden of good vibes. So visualization for imprinting desires on the subconscious, affirmations for clearing out those limiting beliefs. Anything else? What about this assets thing I've heard about?
Oh yeah, assets. It stands for state akin to sleep. It's a powerful technique, especially for quantum leaps and jumps.
State akin to sleep. Sounds mysterious. What is that exactly?
It's all about getting into that dreamy state between being awake and asleep when your subconscious is most open to suggestions. You know that drowsy feeling right before you drift off? That's the sweet spot.
Ah, yes, that twilight zone. Makes sense. That would be a good time to work with the subconscious. So how do we actually do S-side zones?
It's really simple. Just as you're falling asleep, relax your body and mind, get into a light meditative state. Then vividly imagine a scene that represents your goal, but imagine it as already achieved. Replay it in your mind with all the emotions and drift off to sleep.
So we're planting those seeds of desire right before our subconscious day's over for the night.
Exactly. It's like a nightly ritual for manifesting your dreams.
I love it. But whether it's visualization, affirmations, or SATs, it seems like the key ingredient is intention. What role does intention play in all of this?
Intention is the driving force. It's what directs your energy towards your goal. It's about consciously choosing what you want and focusing all your energy on it.
So we can't just passively hope for things. We have to actively decide and commit to what we want.
That's right. And when setting intentions, be specific. Vague intentions get vague results. Instead of just saying, I want to be rich, define what that means. What does that lifestyle look like, feel like? The more specific your intention, the more powerful it becomes.
Got it. Clear, specific, and feel it in your heart. But we've been talking a lot about the mental and emotional side. What about real-world action? How do we take those inner shifts and make them reality?
Well, that's where action comes in. Visualizing, affirming, setting intentions, those are all essential. But you got to take action too.
So it's not just about thinking our way to success. We got to get out there and do something.
Exactly. The universe loves a co-creator. When you take action that feels good and moves you towards your goals, you're showing the universe you're serious about this.
So it's a balance between inner and outer work. Aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and then taking inspired action to make it all happen.
It's a beautiful dance between the inner and the outer, the mind and the physical world. When those come together, that's when the real magic happens.
The magic of quantum leaps and jumps. But before we get too carried away, let's come back to the science for a minute. We talked about neuroplasticity, the RAS, and heart coherence. Anything else supporting these practices?
Oh yeah, there are a couple more fascinating areas. One is epigenetics, which looks at how our environment and lifestyle choices can actually influence our genes.
Wait, so our genes aren't set in stone. We can change how they work.
That's what epigenetics suggests. It's revolutionizing how we think about genes. We're not just stuck with what we were born with.
Incredible. So if we change our thoughts and behaviors, we could actually change our genes. How does that tie into quantum leaps and jumps?
Well, if we can change our genes through our choices, it means we can change our reality. It's recognizing how much power we have to shape not just our minds, but our biology too.
So we're not limited by our DNA, we're empowered by our ability to change it. That adds a whole new layer to quantum leaps and jumps. Anything else we should touch on before moving on?
There's also quantum biology, a pretty new field exploring how quantum physics might be at work in living things.
Quantum biology. Sounds like sci-fi. Are we talking teleportation, time travel?
Not quite. But quantum biology is looking into some mind-blowing stuff. For instance, there's more and more evidence that photosynthesis, how plants turn sunlight into energy, might actually use quantum mechanics.
So plants are using quantum physics. Amazing. What does that tell us about quantum leaps and jumps in humans?
Well, if it's happening in plants, it could be happening in us too, right? Maybe our thoughts and intentions interact with reality on a quantum level in ways we don't yet understand.
This is incredible. Visualization, affirmations, essay tests, intentions, epigenetics,
Yeah.
quantum biology. There's so much to these quantum ideas.
It's a real journey of discovery. The more we dig into these concepts, the more we see our potential to shape our own reality.
It's so empowering. We're not just along for the ride, we're active creators. We choose our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and that shapes our reality.
Exactly. But before we go too deep down the quantum rabbit hole, maybe we should shift gears and look at some real-life examples.
Yeah, let's see how these concepts actually work in people's lives.
Let's explore how these ideas can help you create real, lasting change. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring quantum leaps and quantum jumping, all these amazing ideas. But now, let's see how they work in the real world.
Yeah, it's great to think about shifting realities and all that, but what does it actually look like when people use these ideas to make changes?
I'm ready for some real-life stories. Have you seen examples of these quantum shifts happening?
Oh, absolutely. I've come across so many inspiring stories. For example, I read about this entrepreneur who was really struggling to get her business going.
Yeah, that feeling of hitting a wall happens to a lot of us. So what did she do? Did she try visualization?
That's exactly what she did. She started visualizing herself running this thriving business. She imagined giving presentations, celebrating successes with her team, really seeing her vision come true.
So she worked on her mindset. But did anything change in her actual life, in her business?
Here's the amazing part. Soon after she started, she met a potential investor at an event. The conversation just flowed, and within weeks, she had the funding she needed to take her business to that next level.
Wow. Sounds like the universe gave her exactly what she was visualizing.
It really does. It shows how powerful it can be to align your inner world with your goals. And this isn't just about business. I've heard stories about people using this for their health, relationships, all sorts of things.
What about quantum jumping? Any stories where it seems like someone actually jumped to a different reality?
Oh, there are some pretty fascinating ones. I talked to a woman who had struggled with her weight for years. Tried everything, diets, exercise, nothing seemed to work long term.
Ugh, yeah, that feeling of being stuck. So many people can relate to that. What did you do differently?
She learned about quantum jumping and decided to try connecting with a version of herself who was already at her ideal weight. She started meditating, visualizing herself merging with this healthier, more energetic self.
So she was trying to align with a version of herself where the change had already happened. Did it work?
The results were amazing. She started noticing little changes in her behavior, started wanting healthier foods, had more energy for working out, and didn't feel the need to overeat as much.
Like she was tapping into the habits of that healthier version of herself.
Exactly. Like she was being guided from within to make choices that matched the reality she was visualizing.
These stories are so powerful. It seems like the big takeaway, whether it's leaps or jumps, is that we can shape our reality through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Totally. And the tools are the same, whether you approach it scientifically or metaphysically. Visualization, affirmations, setting intentions, and taking action. It's all about realizing the creative power we have.
It's about taking control of our lives. We're not just passengers, we're the drivers. We get to choose where we go and how we get there.
That's a great way to put it. As we wrap up our deep dive, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
What's that?
If our personal reality is so flexible, so influenced by our consciousness, what does that mean for our shared reality? What if we all started consciously co-creating the world together? Something to think about.
Wow, that's a powerful question. Thank you so much for guiding us through this amazing exploration of quantum leaps and quantum jumping.
It's been my pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. Keep exploring these ideas, keep dreaming big, and keep leaping towards those extraordinary lives you imagine.
If you're enjoying our podcast and the insights we share, you'll absolutely love our ebooks crafted to take your manifestation journey to the next level. These ebooks are your ultimate tools to manifest abundance, love, confidence, and prosperity. Whether you're looking to master your self-concept, unlock financial freedom, or design the life of your dreams, we've got you covered. Inside, you'll find step-by-step guides, practical exercises, and bonus tools like printable affirmation cards and daily habits to keep you aligned with your goals. Simple, actionable, and designed to fit into even the busiest lifestyle, these ebooks are your personal roadmap to success and happiness. Take the next step in your manifestation journey. Click the link, explore our ebooks, and start creating the life you deserve today.